Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Nico Athlete here. It has been quite a while since I last filmed a YouTube video for y'all, but I've started to kind of upgrade my content, like upgrade my system, like my upgrade my camera. I got a webcam now. We're trying out on the headphones, see how we sound there. So sorry if this video isn't the most put together, but we're gonna give it a shot because I really want to start content creating for y'all. I know I did it a couple years ago. Kind of got busy with college, with life, with work, with everything. But I'm back. I'm going to start making more content for you. I'm also going to be starting a podcast with my good buddy in a couple weeks here. So look forward to that. It's going to be called the North and South Sports Podcast. So look for that channel. One to be created to get plugged more and for videos to start coming out. So without further ado, though, let's get right into it. We're in a really cool part of the year with March Madness going on. We got NFL free agency. We got the draft coming up in a little under a month. NBA is starting to wrap up. Regular season, less than 10 games left. Playoffs starting next month as well. So it's just a lot to talk about. But I want to start off by talking about just what in the world did I think about the sports world this last year? Starting with obviously my Minnesota Vikings. You kind of know that's what I talk about the most on this channel here. So let's get started with that. The Minnesota Vikings this year kind of were disappointing. Only finishing with an 8-9 record um, after a lot of injuries happening. JJ being out for most of the year with that ankle sprain. Kirk tearing his Achilles during week 7, I want to say it was, against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. Um, just inconsistent play in the offense with the running back room after cutting Dalvin Cook and having Alexander Madison being the running back one. So it was kind of to be expected. But honestly, with what happened, I'm not overly disappointed. We have a top 15 pick in the draft. Now have pick 23 in the draft as well, thanks to the trade with the Houston Texans. And so the Vikings are set to do a lot of really, really good things in this year's draft. Now, as the NFL in a whole, I don't really care. I mean, I'm a little disappointed to see that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl again. I'm just really sick of the Chiefs, man. Not that I don't dislike any of the players on that team, but I mean, there's nothing else to really like write home about. You got Patrick Mahomes, who yeah, he'll probably be the next Tom Brady in terms of like everyone knows who he is, everyone knows what he's done, everyone kind of knows what he's been doing. But I mean, it gets boring after a while. Now they all you hear about in the offseason are the Chiefs going to three-peat? Can they create history? I'm kind of tired of it. That's what makes the NFL not fun. It's like, oh, now they're going to do everything in their power to keep talking about this for the next year and a half. And I got to sit through it. Now, the other thing I want to talk about before I talk about the draft and free agency, I want to talk about the NBA, man, because the NBA for me has been special this season. It's been special this season for one reason. That is the Minnesota Timberwolves, baby. With what the Minnesota Timberwolves have been able to do, it's just special. And as a Timberwolves fan, man, we've been waiting for it. We've been waiting for it, man. Timberwolves currently sit at 49 wins on the season. I want to say about 22 losses. I could be wrong. I'll have to fact check that. But it's more than just the number of wins we have. It's the quality wins we have and the team we have built around it. Anthony Edwards is turning out to be the superstar we all thought he was going to be, but we didn't think he'd get there this quickly. Rudy Gobert's forerunner for the Defensive Player of the Year, and you're just so happy that that trade actually worked out, unlike what everyone was saying, where it wasn't going to work. And then you have Mike Conley, who is a savvy veteran point guard that we've been so desperately needing. That kind of helps bring in leadership, brings in just maturity to this young Timberwolves team. And then Karl-Anthony Towns and Jaden McDaniels are just two other really, really big, solid pieces that the Wolves have. McDaniels being a decent scorer and a really great defender, and Towns just being Karl-Anthony Towns, the elite scorer, who's also had a kind of having a defensive resurgence. Then the bench unit as well, just what Kyle Anderson has been able to do when Towns is out as a starter, as a bench player. Nas Reed is phenomenal. He's probably top three in six man of the year voting right now. Nikhil Alexander Walker, who was pretty much just a throw in the D'Lo trade last year, is one of our best scorers on the bench and one of the best defenders on our whole team. And then Jordan McLaughlin this year, even in his at times limited role, is our best 3-point shooter, shooting out almost 50% from the three. And Monte Morris, we brought in at the trade deadline, has been instrumental in our second unit. So as a Timberwolves fan, man, I'm so happy to see what we're doing. Like I said, we're getting towards the end here. We're kind of getting to that. All right, what's going to happen this next month as the Wolves battle for the one spot? They're only a half game out from Denver, who has the one seed currently. They play the Pistons on Wednesday, so that hopefully should be a pretty free win for the Wolves. Um, but man, it's really exciting to see where the Timberwolves are going as the NBA season continues. But now let's shift our focus one more quick time to the NFL. And we got to talk about NFL free agency. NFL free agency happened about 2 weeks ago, kind of the start of it. It's called the free agency frenzy. And this year was certainly a free agency frenzy. Looking at what some of the moves were made, Kirk Cousins signing a 4-year deal with Atlanta. That was, as a Vikings fan, you kind of hate to see it, but you kind of move past. You're like, all right, we weren't going to give Kirk the money he wanted. We weren't going to give him the years he wanted either. We had a plan. We said, we'll give you 2 years. We'll give you some guaranteed money, but not all of it, because we know your age, we know your injury, we know where we want to be down the road. So, I mean, yeah, it's sad to see him go just as a person and as a player, but it had to happen eventually. Also, notable free agency signing, Josh Jacobs getting signed to the Packers on a 4-year deal, and then in turn cutting Aaron Jones. And they also signed Xavier McKinney, so they got better, but also the Vikings got better in signing Aaron Jones to a 1-year, $7 million deal. The Vikings also signed Blake Cashman, Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, Shaquem Griffin, Jihad Ward, uh, one other linebacker. They also signed Sam Darnold to be our bridge quarterback. So, I mean, you kind of just look at what the Vikings have done this offseason, and I'll go into it in a different video, especially as we get closer to the draft. I'll kind of break down who I think the final 53 will be once the draft happens, once free agency kind of slows down even more than it is. But I think this NFL offseason has just been crazy. Russell Wilson going to the Steelers, Kenny Pickett going to the Eagles, Justin Fields going to the Steelers. Um, there are some other quarterbacks that moved around. A lot of running backs moved around. Saquon going to the Eagles, Tony Pollard going to the Titans, Austin Eckler going to the Commanders, Joe Mixon going to the Texans. Just a lot of really cool movement happening in the NFL. But I think that's going to wrap up this video. Like I said, this is more of just I'm back. I'm going to start making more videos, talking about a few things here and there. I know it might not seem like the most complete video ever, but let's be honest. When was the last time my content was ever really put together? So with that being said, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really excited to be back making content for you. But make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to at least 100 by June. I'd love to hit 100 by June. Leave a comment below what you want me to talk about, what you want me to talk about on my podcast that I'm going to be starting, and what else I can do to make content better for you guys. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow, man. And I'll see you in the next video.